Well, speaking of what things are being presented like now to a national audience, I know you said you watched SmackDown. We'll get to that in a little bit. I insisted that you check out something from Raw before it gets too late in the day.
Yes, you did.
Because a lot of people are talking about it, and it certainly was a noticeable change on the face of it. And we do have some audio we could play as you review it, so we could put it in the proper context. But before we get to anything, what are your thoughts on Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle? Now he has a first name again.
Matt Riddle and Austin Theory, by the way. These names are coming back. The name game. Shirley. Let's do Chuck. Chuck, Bobuck, Banana, Fana. Ooh, let's not do Chuck. So anyway.
It's like being in camp. It's wonderful.
Yeah. No, and Raw is still 3 hours long, and it was just late last night that it was over with, and we're recording now. We're going to talk more about the rest of the show, if anything happened of any note on the experience. But there was one thing that you said, you got to watch this, and now I know why you did, because apparently they are experimenting with just letting guys argue with each other and call each other names instead of doing dramatic readings of stilted, phony dialogue in their promos. And both these guys, Matt Riddle and Seth Franklin Rollins, both of them were in their gimmick. They were talking like that they themselves and or whatever Seth has been doing lately, but it wasn't the scripted, monotone delivery of memorized, verbiage. It was more earthy. And, like where we've been making fun of when that Toxic Attraction, they say, we live a seductive life of guiltiness or whatever the fuck. They're just saying, hey, you know what? Fuck you, motherfucker. How about I punch you in the fucking face? And that was refreshing. They set up the point-counterpoint apparatus, so because of their incredible animosity between each other, they can't be in the same room, so they're in the separate rooms and they're in the boxes, side by side. Point-counterpoint. Seth, you ignorant slut. And they had showed VTR, I guess, is that even a term anymore? Videotape replay is what VTR is. Well, if I write a TV format, it's going to say VTR. They showed the VTR of a cell phone camera, supposedly from a fan, of an aerial shot. I guess they were at the top of the parking garage. They're down in the parking lot at the arena, and Riddle's on the phone, and Seth Rollins sees him, and they just lock up and have a fight, and people are pulling them apart. And then they come to the double boxes. And I still don't know if I could tolerate Matt Riddle as a person, just with the, his whole thing, down to the purple and lime green fingernail polish. Did you see that?
I missed it, no.
Purple and lime green every other finger. Anyway, but Seth Rollins was natural here in his gimmick, but he was speaking words that he apparently was coming up with. And even Riddle sounded like that he meant some shit that he was saying. And they just argued. And Rollins took most of it, and then finally said, hey, whatever the fuck he said to Riddle. And Riddle's go-home line was, well, hey, there's only one man in your marriage, and that's Becky. And Seth gets the pissed off look on his face, and they go to the announcers and into the break or whatever.
We could play some of that audio if you want to get to that point.
Okay, yeah, let's get there with that.
So here's towards the end of Seth Rollins doing the face-to-face, or not face-to-face, but what would you call it? I mean, they're
point counterpoint.
Point counterpoint. That's what it is.
Split screen, point counterpoint.
So we're going to start with the end of Seth Rollins talking here, and it'll go into the end right when we went to the commercial.
Come on, Graves. You know who you're talking to. I'm Seth freaking Rollins, baby. I'm gonna steal the show. I'm gonna stomp Riddle's head into that mat one more time and show him once and for all who the man around here really is.
Well, Seth, I'm going to prove to you that there's only one man in your marriage, and that's Becky, bro.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time. Myself and the entire WWE Universe cannot wait till this Saturday.
Well, we can wait for that, but there it is, the line, and you said it, Seth Rollins gets the face.
He gets the face. And they go to the break, but then when they come back, the announcers are like, well, wait a minute, folks, there was more to what happened earlier. They were still mic'd up after we went to break, and then they play the footage that you're, quote unquote, not supposed to see. And this is where things started actually sounding like a fucking wrestling argument. Kev, we got that?
So we come out a commercial break to this.
And clear.
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yo, Riddle, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
We talk about my family, man. Let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see you anymore, huh?
What did you just say?
Yeah, you heard me.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm here. Come find me.
Dude, you don't get, I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm gonna you up, bro. Where the are you?
All right,
where are you?
Come find me.
Where are you? Dude, you don't get, I'm gonna smash your face in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Keep playing games, bro. Keep playing games. I'm gonna you up.
And there he goes, storming
And
off.
they storm off. And now that was edited further than the telecast was, because what Seth said was, hey, Riddle, your wife divorced you and took the kids because they don't want to see your little bitch ass anymore. And they bleeped out bitch ass for that clip. And then there was bleeps on I'm going to fuck you up. Riddle was a little over the top at the end. But all in all, it was more emotion than you normally see. I don't mean over the top emotional. I mean he repeated himself a little too much. But otherwise, it was more natural and more argumentative and definitely more profane. But they bleeped the serious language on USA Network, but you still got the point. They weren't out there letting their underneath talent have Tourette's and not bleeping anything, so they'll get heat with the network. So, but basically, where are you? I'm going to fuck you up. Well, fuck you. Come and find me. We need more of that shit and less of this dramatic Shakespearean fucking tragedy that we're being subjected to every week.
You know, we've been saying it, though, week by week. There are little things on Raw, whether it's the talent that shows up or whether it's little things like this. And again, how do you get around the cursing? If you want to compete with all the cursing in AEW, do it during a commercial break, then bleep it out when you come back. Good idea.
There you go.
But it's one of the, I guess, another one of these signs of what's going on under the Triple H regime.
Well, and names trickling back into the equation where they were banned before and words being allowed to be said. We said they can't turn the thing on a dime and they can't just come out and reverse everything all at the same time, or it would be disorienting, but at least there's positive hope. And again, just these little things are little things that Triple H can do or that the company can do to get goodwill back with the fans. They have a second chance to make a first impression because of Vince leaving. So people are willing at this point to blame everything bad on Vince and give at least a short-term chance for these, for Triple H and whoever to rectify things. So, and they're smart enough, apparently, to take advantage of this little honeymoon period. Whereas every time across the street, Tony as serendipitously has somebody getting over or something happening organically or an opportunity to capitalize on something, and they don't do it because either it wasn't in their plans or it's somebody being popular that the EVPs don't want to be popular. So the WWE's winning this, the momentum change in the other direction. They're winning this one right now.
What do you do to capitalize on this specific segment and the fact that so many people are buzzing about it and it's getting tweeted out and it's getting put on social media all over the place? The next promo Seth Rollins does he go back to being on PCP? Or is he serious and now he's pissed off and now he's going to be serious for a while? And the same thing with Matt Riddle. He could still be a stoner, but is he going to be a serious stoner? Or are the pigeons that some people date going to fly out of his ass?
I think, well, that's as long as he doesn't take a tank to the library. I think they're going to try to let him be serious. They wouldn't have done this if they're not a pull apart in the parking lot and telling people that Riddle's wife divorced him and took the kids because they don't want to see his bitch ass. I don't think you come back and, do gaga with whipped cream after that. We'll find out. But it would be nice if there was some, credibility to, because think about this. This is what AEW could be doing. Sports-based presentation and or, more realistic action. We already know it's a publicly accepted fact that half of the AEW locker room hates the other half of the locker room's guts. But they're not doing any shoot angles. I think they ought to send two guys out and get in a fight in a restaurant and get arrested. Make the newspapers like the old days. Well, goddamn it, I wasn't going to sit there and listen to him fucking crowing about whatever over my shrimp scampi, so I walked up and punched him in the face.
Remember, we once did In the News, I think it was in Florida, and it was so preposterous, you kind of figured it out. It was Saul Weingrove got punched in the face by Eddie Graham, like, on the street.
Yes.
And it was just like, what must have happened was they accidentally ran into each other, and this was the only conclusion. He had to punch him in the face.
Yeah. And conveniently, I'm sure Eddie Graham and his partner, maybe Sam Steamboat at the time, were wrestling the Von Brauners. And golly, imagine what's going to happen down there after Eddie Graham had to go to jail over this. Anyway,